All right, guys, so today we have a double kettlebell workout. As always, do your general warm-up first. We have 3 sets, not 3 to 4, just 3 sets since we have 4 different movements for some strength stuff. And then a nice little 7-round workout with a kettlebell complex in there. I know you guys all love kettlebell complexes. So let's go over these movements real fast. We have Turkish get-ups. So I'm going to bring Diana here to demonstrate the Turkish get-up. You can do it without weight if you want to. So just some points of performance here for the Turkish get-up. Always be looking at your weight. All right, so first thing, you're going to come up onto your elbow, come up onto your hand. Okay, she's in a good vertical position here. She's sitting pretty upright. Lift her hips up off the ground, and she's going to slide this leg back into the lunge position. Good. And then stand up. All right, now I know most of you guys have that part down pretty well. What I really want you to focus on is this coming back down. So as you come back down to the ground, instead of just taking this offhand and falling backwards, right? Because then the weight is moving in space. I want you to work on keeping this weight where it's at in space and rotating around this arm. So she's going to rotate down. So you notice now her hand is actually touching out in front of her knee. So let's see that again. She's going to come up and we're working on this rotation down. Notice her arm then does not have to move very far in space, right? Then if you need to, you can move that other foot out, slide your leg back through, drop down to your butt, drop down to your elbow, and then lay back down. So you're going to go through and you're going to be doing 3 of those on each arm. Honestly, it's up to you. If you want to switch each side, you can. If you want to do all 3 on one arm and then switch to the other arm, that's fine too. Our next one, bent over rows. So what we're working on here is trying to isolate the back side of your shoulder and your lat here. All right, so she's starting with the weights on the ground, nice and horizontal, back nice and straight. She's pulling up, and again, you're aiming for the bottom of your rib cage with the hand. So thinking about pulling your elbows high. If you're having trouble feeling it in your lats, first of all, try to flex as you're pulling. And for me, what helps is if I just relax my grip on the weights a little bit, think about instead of pulling the weight to my ribs, think instead about pulling my elbow behind me as I flex my lats. All right? After that, Cossack squats. You're going to go 6 each leg. So you got a couple variations here. Obviously, you can do it with no weight. Or you can go goblet style Cossack squat. And remember, the same principles as a regular squat apply. So knee needs to track outside your toe. We're looking for full depth. Generally, the wider your stance is, the easier it's going to be. If you're able to, and you want to try it, let's try a double kettlebell front rack Cossack squat. So for this one, very similar to a regular kettlebell front squat, as you go down, you want your elbows to come up so you have more support for the kettlebells. And as you stand back up, you can bring the elbows down into your ribs for a better rack position at the top. And then finally, half-kneeling kettlebell press. So she is going to be in a lunge position here. The offhand is not on her body. I want you to have to stabilize with your core. Okay, so she's pressing with her right arm, which means her right knee is down, getting a good finished position up overhead, trying to work those shoulder muscles as much as possible here. All right, I know you guys know how to do those. It's something we do in here quite a bit. If you'd like an extra challenge, and if you have the appropriate weight, and you want to do that bottoms up style press, you're welcome to try that. If the weight you grab is too heavy and you're not able to strict press it, feel free to stand up and do some push presses. Okay, so let's go over now our workout. 7 rounds for time, okay? And it's 5 double kettlebell complexes. We have push-ups and V-ups. So let's go over the complex. The complex is a hang cluster to a thruster. So you're using 2 kettlebells, right? And you're starting here. This is your start position. She's going to do a double kettlebell clean, and as she catches that clean, she's going into her squat. She's going to then do a thruster, drive it up over her head, back down into a second thruster. All right, so let's see that more full speed. So it's going to be a hang, squat clean, thruster into another thruster. Okay, let's see another one. Hang, squat clean, thruster into a thruster. Okay, so now we need to talk about some points of performance here. And most of it's going to deal with this kettlebell rack position. All right, so when you're grabbing it, or when you have these weights and you're having in your front rack position, okay? The front rack position is elbows down, making contact with your rib cage, right? Just like when we're doing our kettlebell clean and jerks, we want contact with the rib cage, especially when we're going up overhead. But when we're front squatting, go ahead and squat down. You do want the elbows to come up so that you have a shelf for those weights to sit on. And as you stand back up, you bring the elbows in so that when you're going overhead, you have something to bump those weights up off of. Let's see that front thruster again. So you'll notice she goes down here, elbows come up. As she stands, the elbows come back into the rib cage. She bumps her arms off of her ribs to help boost that weight up overhead. All right, so let's practice that when you're doing this workout. Then, after that, we have 10 or 7 for the ladies, hand release push-ups. So you're going down, lift the hands up off the ground, get a good lockout. Now, if you need to scale that, you can go from your knees. Okay? If you're doing the knee hand release push-ups, then guys and gals, I want you doing 10 reps. The ladies, I only want you doing 7 if you're doing it in the prescribed way. And then finally, V-ups. So for V-ups, I'm looking for a good hollow position. We've done a lot of hollow stuff this week. But you're going into this hollow position here at the bottom, and then she's going to throw her arms up, come up, and touch her toes. If you don't hit your toes, it's not the end of the world. But as you come back, I want you ending up in that V position each time. Go ahead and do a couple where you just relax at the bottom. What I don't want to see here is right here where you just relax down there. Do your best to maintain that hollow position. All right? So, there you have it. That is our double kettlebell day, guys. Good luck. I look forward to seeing how everybody does.